Hey there, guys. Jeremy here, Conscious is Awake. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a nice weekend. Looks like we got some solar flare activity again for tomorrow. So keep a lookout on that, depending on where you are around the world. All right. So in this video, I want to talk about near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences. My viewpoint, my own personal opinion on how OBEs and NDEs are comparable, how they're similar and comparable, and how they are not comparable in certain regards. Now, for me personally, all of my over 1,000, 1,000 plus, or at least many OBEs, astral projection experiences, again, if they are spontaneous or if they are intentional, over the years, over a long time, 25 years, all my experiences have been in the out-of-body, lucid dreaming, a little remote viewing, that kind of stuff. I've never personally had what you would consider a clinical NDE myself, but I do know people personally who have, and I've seen many interviews and read information from NDEs, from people who've had NDEs, so I understand where they're coming from. Very much so. I connect to their stories. Now, the closest I've been to it is having an out-of-body during an operation. I had an operation in 2020, last year, a couple-hour operation where I was on the operating table. I was put out, and I did have a brief out-of-body experience, consciously aware, even with all the drugs and things and the sedation and things that they pump into you during an operation. So that's the closest I've been. I've never actually, nothing went wrong. There was no complications during my operation, and so that was definitely just a regular out-of-body experience. It wasn't an NDE. But all right. So that said, let's talk about some of the similarities and how they connect. Over the years, for one example I want to point out is, with some of my out-of-body experiences, astral projection experiences, going into the lower astral planes, what we call the lower astral planes, and running into recovery centers and rehab centers, these big medical buildings. They just look like hospitals, to be honest with you. They just like hospitals. They have like a main entryway on the bottom of the hospital, big doors, and you go in, and there's a reception area, and guides, and healers, and spirit, all kinds of stuff going on in there. And so what I want to point out is, okay, so I have had just regular, out-of-bodies, OBEs, where I've literally, with my own eyes, while being in that other energy body, seen people who have recently deceased from the physicality, from their human form, and going into these rehab centers and recovery centers, and mind you that I never really set the intention myself during meditation or whatnot. To go to these kind of places. This kind of stuff just happened just randomly for me, spontaneously. And then as I noticed these facilities, I started to wonder what they were. And then after hearing about other people's experiences while they were out of body and seeing these recovery centers, these medical facilities, to help with the transitional aspects, the emotional aspects, the traumas, all the things associated from the physical life experience. I've heard of other people explaining this too and seeing this while out of body, and so it made more sense that way. But my point being is, I'm just out of body, regular astral projection, and seeing other souls or consciousness going in to these rehab recovery centers, even going up to some of them literally and talking with them and grabbing onto their arm and all kinds of stuff, like actually interacting with them and asking them questions, and getting responses. Not always, but sometimes you get good responses from other beings or recently deceased, beings from the physical form, and sometimes you don't. It just depends. But so to me, I'm experiencing this firsthand, right? And not just me. There's other people too who have experienced this stuff. So when I experienced that and then start hearing about NDEs, my own inclination was to think that the place, the etheric realm, the astral realms, these other dimensions, the non-physical space, like the people having NDEs are going into these non-physical, these other dimensions. I don't want to say non-physical, because when you're in some of these other dimensions and other reality constructs and whatnot, it seems just as real and as dense as being in this physicality, in this human form, and feeling the table and feeling the wall and stuff. But like I said before in my videos, you can feel it all, with touch, you can feel it all. But you can also, through your mind, through your intention, also, walk through the structure, go through the walls, put your arm through the walls, put your arms through mirrors, like stuff like that, So you have both ends of that. But yeah, so basically seeing people who have actually died while on a body and being in the same realm or dimension or non-physical space as them through consciousness has led me to believe that where a person goes is the same stuff, 4D, 5D, astral, etheric planes, all this stuff, mental planes, spiritual planes, all this stuff. We're all going to the same places. We're just experiencing these places in a similar way or in a non-similar way due to our consciousness and due to our belief structures, our pre-existing belief structures that we had within us. That's my opinion. But the other thing too is don't click out of this video yet because I have more to say. The etheric matter aspects. So when a person's doing an astral projection, regular out-of-body experience, only a certain, not all of their consciousness, not all of the ability to use, let's say, your etheric energy, your body, is all there during OBE. You have access to some of it, right? But in an NDE, when your physical body, the heart stops, something happens to where it's an actual NDE experience. More of your when you go in, when you pop out of your body, when your consciousness shifts into your etheric body after physical death, which is what happens to most people, more of the etheric matter transitions also and follows away from the physical form. Okay, so like during an astral projection, regular out-of-body experience, you're utilizing parts of all of that. There's no actual more of a separation. But during an NDE, when there's lots of trauma, operating table, you've died your physical body has literally clinically died for a minute or a few minutes or whatever the case may be, more of that etheric matter, you can access more of that etheric matter with your consciousess in that etheric body in that moment. That is one difference. The etheric, the amount of etheric matter that you are, dealing with, in an NDE is different than in a regular OBE. So there are some, to me, similarities, but there are also some, definite differences between the experiences. So I think, consciousness in the larger consciousness reality, with the multiverse, multiple planes of existence, all this stuff that's going on around us, beyond the physical plane, physical reality that we're in right now, sensing with their human body, there is more. There's a lot more that's going on there. So I kind of lost my train of thought there. Let me drink some of my tea real quick. But anyways, sorry, lost my train of thought there. But yeah. So what I wanted to point out in a 10-minute video, 12-minute video here is how, yes, there's similarities, and yes, there's differences between NDEs and OBEs. But in my opinion, and don't get mad at me, is that consciousness within itself is going into these other non-physical dimensions beyond the physical dimension, and it's accessing all of that the same way as an OBE or an NDE. In an NDE, you can see a light portal, a light tunnel, and beings and all kinds of things going on. In an OBE, you can see portals and beings and tunnels and all this stuff. It's all there. Both sides of it have it. And for anybody who's had out-of-body experiences, and NDE experiences. I know there's a couple of you. There's probably a handful of you guys who are sub to the channel who have had NDEs and OBEs. I know that you maybe feel different about the NDE perspective. If you do, or if you want to say something in the comments, please do share with the community your experiences and perspectives and thoughts. But for me, I feel like consciousness, when it goes out of the body, if the body is dead or if the body is still alive, it's accessing the same non-physical territory, so to speak. We're just accessing different parts of it, and then we're just getting there a different way. Just like how you can be in a dream state and wake up in your dream, go lucid, and have a lucid dream, but then you can reality shift through your intentions and through some techniques, how you can go from just a dream state and then go from there and go into a full-on out-of-body, into the etheric realm or into the astral realm. So consciousness, once it's not centered and it's centered on these other dimensions, can access all of this stuff, I believe, just in different ways. We just have different, labels and things explaining different types of situations and whatnot. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of you who disagree with me. And I understand, especially you guys who've had full-on near-death experiences, or what are called NDEs. But I want you to understand, too, that when you think about something else, like people have NDEs or OBEs, and another similarity is the experiences within themselves, where sometimes they're really good, really positive, and sometimes they're really fearful and really negative. And there's demonic entities, there's demons, there's angelic beings, there's all this different stuff going on, right? And people experience all of that stuff, and they experience, hell-like realities and heavenly realities, and running into all kinds of different, bloodlines of deceased relatives and different stuff going on. They're all experiencing that too. I mean, people who have astral projection experiences out of bodies are experiencing basically all of the stuff that people describe when they describe their near-death experiences. Like, I was watching a Jeff Mara podcast, a new thing on YouTube last year or so. Jeff Mara podcast, I think he's got like 25,000 subscribers or something like that so far. He's doing really great, really nice guy. And he interviews a lot of people who have near-death experiences during surgery or whatnot, a heart attack, that kind of thing, accidents, car accidents. And when I watch those videos and hear them explaining things, like one guy was talking about how he saw reptilian beings, in an NDE. Well, guess what? I've seen reptilian beings in multiple different types of out-of-body experiences too. So again, just another thing to kind of connect those. So I think all it is how you get there. So consciousness is consciousness. It functions the way it does as it enters into these other dimensions and the non-physical realms. But we're just getting there through different ways. That's all. But again, my heart goes out to any of you guys who've had what you call clinical NDEs, because those are very traumatic, very difficult, and you get through it though. Some positive energy and some healing. You get through it. But please, by no means, don't get upset with me if you don't agree with me. I am just giving you my perspective on it, and I hope that you can respect it as I can respect you and whatever kind of experiences or things that you want to explain. So please, comments down below, like the video if it was cool, if you have any good information about your own NDEs, want to get on Consciousness Awake, do a podcast, do an interview about NDEs to put more light on just that type of topic, leave your info down below in the comments. Alright guys, you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Peace.